Hi, and thanks for joining me. I'm just going to prepare the boat, ready to take it out tomorrow for a very short trip. I need to take off the canopy at the back. That involves taking off the two sides. Then I'm left with the main part of the canopy, which is in one piece, and that runs from front to back. I always do the side straps first and then the middle one, and the middle one is always very difficult, unfortunately. It's coming a bit easier actually, probably because I didn't over tighten it last time. Hooray! Success! So that's it, ready for the off in the morning. Well, I've picked a very good day to go out for a short cruise. The weather is glorious as ever for me. I'm really lucky in that respect. So let's see how we get on. I'm just on my way out of the marina, as you can probably see. Sun's just gone in. Anyway, another successful exit from the marina. Hey! Well, I've got the sun behind me today. Usually I'm heading straight into it, but as I twist and turn, it will no doubt change position. So I've come out just for a short break really. A couple of things have happened in the last week. I wasn't too well last Sunday. Had a severe case of indigestion Sunday night. I was literally awake all night, up and down every 10 or 15 minutes. And also on Sunday I noticed some water in the bilge, which shouldn't really be there. That was a bit worrying. Also, coupled with that, I found that the pump was going off more often than it should. So water in the bilge or the engine bay suggests that there's a leak somewhere, and the pump going off also suggests that there's a leak. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I had been planning a trip of 4 or 5 days. I won't say where because I'll do it another occasion now. But I was really looking forward to that, but I've changed my plans as I've got an engineer coming to see me in a few days' time, which rather scuppered the idea of going away for 4 or 5 days, and particularly when I've not been feeling too good. In fact, last night I went to bed with a pain in the stomach, and I've still got it now. So I'm hoping that things will improve during the day. It looks as though the canal is slightly lower than it should be, just by a couple of inches or 50 millimeters. I'm cruising at a very steady pace, slower than I normally am, and it's absolutely wonderful. Normally I say I'm relaxed and I've got no rush. But generally there is a bit of an agenda. You hope to get somewhere by a certain time, and that does sort of put pressure on one. But don't really like to admit to that. But blue skies, it's absolutely glorious. Going to be coming up to that lovely weeping willow that I often pass when I head out of the marina in a northerly direction. So I'm sure you'd like to see that yet again. Here comes the willow tree. I always think it's very pleasant through here. Good straight run. It's good if you don't meet any boats coming the other way, because very often there are several boats moored along here. Coming up to some moored boats now. You may recall a few weeks ago I published a short video on fixing new cleats to the bow of the boat. These were made of brass, and brass and steel don't mix very well together. They can cause rusting of the steel. At the time I did think about putting in some gaskets to stop the two different metals meeting, but I decided against it. There's a little bit of criticism about that and suggestions that I really should do something. So I have now done something. It's more of a temporary something. It may well last, but I'll show you a bit later what I've actually done. It's blowing up a bit. Hadn't expected that. But the sky is blue with white fluffy clouds, so all is well. In fact, the sun is now ahead of me and to my right. Well, I've not passed any boats coming towards me yet. You'd think there'd be scores of them out on the canal on a day like this, but who knows? When I was looking into the pump issue, there was a suggestion that it might be the pressure switch that was at fault, so I replaced that. The pump is underneath the kitchen sink, actually beneath the floor of the cupboard. So I didn't actually film in there, but I did take some still shots, and I'll show you a bit later exactly what I was doing. Unfortunately, it didn't resolve the issue, hence the engineer coming in a few days' time. The fault is probably to do with the pressure relief valve on the central heating. Since I've changed the pressure switch, the pump keeps going off every sort of 10 seconds or so, and I have noticed that on the hot water circuit, as it were, there is air getting into the system. I've also detected that there is a leak on the calorifier or the hot water cylinder where the expansion pipe comes out the top. It's steam has been escaping out of there. All this rather suggests that the pressure relief valve isn't doing the job it's meant to do, and that when the water's got too hot, it's had to find another way to escape. All this hopefully will become clear once the engineer has been and sorted me out. So I'll report on that at the time. There's that lovely gnarled tree again. Well, I am surprised not to have passed any boats. Normally when I say that, one pops along, but hasn't done so far. We're coming up to what I describe as an unofficial winding point. That's a point where you can turn your boat around and go back in the opposite direction. I say unofficial because it's not marked on any maps. I think really if your boat is up to about 50, maybe 55 feet, you could turn there, but anything more than that would be a little bit difficult. I've turned there in the past. But you can see just there, the canal widens out a little bit. But I've been going so slow, I've been caught up by a boat behind me. I think I'll let the boat behind me overtake me, as I'm going to stop very shortly for lunch. Morning. Lovely day.
Nice broad top bit.
When I pulled over to let that boat past, not a word, no thank you, no nothing. Unbelievable. Once I'm through the next bridge, I'm going to moor up for lunch. I am getting rather peckish, and the pain I mentioned in my stomach is pretty constant, so I think I need to get some food inside me. And a cup of tea, of course. Here's the next bridge coming into view. This is called Clay Barn Bridge. First boat of the day, just coming under the bridge. That's the first boat coming towards me. Hello. Well, that was a bit of a surprise, suddenly seeing that boat come through the bridge. Anyway, I'm going to moor up here, have some lunch. See, there's another boat coming as well. Well, that was a little troublesome, mooring up there. The boat was drifting out. Anyway, managed to get it done. And guess what? There's another boat coming along now. Funny how they've all come along together, just like the proverbial bus. Right, time to put the kettle on. Well, the journey had been pretty uneventful until that boat overtook me. And then there was another boat coming through the bridge suddenly without any warning. Moored up, and a couple of other boats passed. So a hive of activity in a very short space of time. This is where I've moored. I have stopped here before, as some of you might well recall. I'm going to leave it there for now. Many thanks for watching. Catch up next time. Bye for now.